to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Hello, all realist. Thank you for listening to Real FM. If you'd like to call our studio, here is the number. Call the direct line on 4533911, or you can WhatsApp call on 4879849. Call to participate, win prizes, request music, and interact with our announcers and DJs. Real FM, the People's Station.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Monday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 8th day of the month of December 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Miguel Evelyn Favre. Terry Fenelon had already alerted me that he would be unavailable today. And I like the company. Our technical operator is also here with us, Alton Jaquan Joseph. It's our final week of broadcasting of the Real Issues for 2025. Friday, the 12th of December, will be our closing out day, our final day. So, get all your gifts ready. You can send them by some kind of, service, or you can come over to MBC and, put them on the desk here. We'll even allow you into the studio while the program is on for all this. Start wrapping your boxes and your gift boxes, not the empty ones, you can hold them for now. And I'm preparing them and so on. It's nice having you folks. So very happy to be here. It's been a wonderful 3+ years since we started this program. I think it was on the 10th of March. No, it was the 1st of March, 2022. So you know how long it's been since we've had the Real Issues going, and I've really enjoyed hosting it, producing it, and I've really enjoyed the company of the people who have been here with me on it, including Miguel and, of course, Terry. It's no coincidence, it's no accident that you notice I'm not in any red today, neither the cap, nor the scarf, nor the tie, nor anything of that kind. And there's a reason for it. I'll tell you what it is. I believe the time has come for us to start to tone it down, okay? Election campaign was very intense. It was very, for many people would have found it invigorating, but at the same time, sometimes you do something and while you're in it and the adrenaline is flowing, you feel all the energy, and when it's over, that's when the tiredness really hits you. Like I remember an old lady used to say she sits all day long doing her work, which was some craft with latania and bamboo and so on, and she would never feel her waist hurting her. But the moment she got up, that's when all the pain, would come upon her and so on. And so sometimes that's what it happens. People, let me put it to you. The campaign is over, all right? Now, I don't know at what point you want to realize the campaign is over, but I'm saying it now because if we are into the week where we're going into National Day, December 13th, which is on Saturday. By the way, Butu, since December 13th is a Saturday, does that mean Monday is going to be a holiday?
Once it falls on a Sunday, but not a Saturday.
Oh, not a Saturday. Okay, all right. So Saturday is considered a working day, so no holiday according to Butu coming up on Monday and so on. But, we're entering into this period, and afterwards it's Christmas, the whole Christmas vibe. And that is the reason why we shut down the Real Issues on the last working day before National Day. We want to give people like Jaquan and Nigel and Coalition and so on a little chance to get into the Christmas vibe, in the music, in the jokes, in the riddles, in all the gifts which I spoke about that they will be getting in abundance. People bring those cakes and they bring those nice stuff to you, and they stew the pork and bake the pork and all of that in the best possible ways for you. And so it's a lot of fun. And to move away from the subjects and the treatments that are a little bit grim. We've had the grim stuff. We've had the serious stuff. We've had the angry stuff, the quarrelsome stuff, the vexed stuff, the peacock stuff. Now it's time to just unwind, relax, and get into some joy. So we say get programs like the Real Issues out of the way to allow the Christmas, National Day, New Year vibe. And, National Day, Christmas, New Year, Aso Square. Afterwards, we're talking about independence and baton relay and all those sorts of things, how you call it, this other one, Valentine's Day. So, allow these kinds of more light-hearted vibes to take hold. So that's really it. I got to say something, and I can't talk to the UWP. I've never been part of them. I've never been a member. If I've ever attended the UWP convention, it's as a reporter, their political meetings. But UWP has never been my vibe. I just want to say this. Something I've observed about my people, and I mean my Labour Party people. We enjoy the energy and the intensity of what is mostly found in opposition politics. We like the vibe of the protest. We like that how we call it, that march that we had alongside the waterfront 1 year after UWP was in office in 2017. We enjoy those kind of things. We like the vibe of Casabah Beach. I think they were protesting against the attempt to try to displace Marjorie and so on. I mean, the whole thing you could see. I was in Antigua at the time, but Lord, the energy of those things and so on. Was Gabi actually there with them?
Yes,
man, the Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach, I mean, you could feel. And I looked at, and that's not the first time. I've looked at my Labour Party people and I say, I wonder if Labour Party people enjoy, if not prefer, being in opposition because of the energy and the intensity and the fire and the passion that it brings out to them. But they probably are not that good at settling down and accepting when their party is in government to enjoy their party. You know, one thing I've seen about Flabos, and again, I could be wrong. It will be from the stance I'm looking. Flabos love it when their party is in government. Sometimes they don't get anything. Sometimes the party treats them bad. You know, I have seen times Compton has spoken to UWP supporters, you all can't just come inside the office, that, rough kind of way. But they love the man, you understand? Now, of all people who told me that around 1997, he told me, he notices Labour Party people despite the overwhelming 16-1 victory. Philip J. Pierre told me that, they have a kind of, and he often used that word, we have a Bwakase attitude about us and so on. Like we cannot believe, we cannot accept, we cannot settle down that we are in government. Your party is in government. They complain, they bellyache, they whine a lot. That's what he told me. And later on he said it more publicly. I want you all to know we are in government. Now, maybe at the time it was an easier thing for him to make the point because the Labour Party, the victory in 1997 came after 15 years, in opposition. And that is the thing. The Labour Party won in 79 after 15 years in opposition. As soon as they won, Labour Party people, including George Odlum and others, and Mikey Pilgrim and so on, they just felt that they had to go on some kind of, misadventure about who should be prime minister, and the power struggle went on. And a lot of other people are trying to tell them, guys, do you all forget how long we worked, for this victory, and now we get it, we throw it. It's like they didn't care. I haven't seen that kind of thing again, although Odlum was brought back. And had it not been for the quick and decisive action of Kenny Anthony, Odlum seemed bent on doing the same thing all over again. The guy voted against Louise's budget in 1981, causing it to be defeated. Louise stepped down. The guy went on a vengeance against Winston Snack, who I think was appointed, prime minister after Louise resigned and so on. And it was the budget in 1981 that he voted against. He called it a bikini budget. What it revealed was significant, but what it concealed was vital. 20 years later, in 2001, he was pushing against a Kenny Anthony budget and so on the grounds that it was a Belelesh budget. And that's, I said, this was the journey from bikini to Belelesh, 20 years and so on. But it's not Odlum I want to talk about. Labour Party people, your party has won, and has won big time. You don't need to be cussing off Tommy. If Tommy Descat has done something about money on election day, okay, let that be a law enforcement matter. Let the police deal with it. To deal with it as a political matter, that it becomes the subject of talk shows and discussions and news and attacking Tommy. Tommy right now, where the political space is concerned, and Guy Joseph and Dominic Fede and Bradley Felix and the other Bradley and so on, they are irrelevant now. Your party has won. And, if there was any relevance to them to say, well, those guys, you were protecting the victory. You protected the 2021 victory, and you protected it successfully, because the 2025 victory was even more emphatic, even more massive and so on. Stop expending your energy and hence depriving yourself of your joy in your party's victory and pulling off something that is historic. I look at that and I say, but wait a minute. Why we think we need to take on Timothy Poleon so much about rejock that he brought on and so on? Wasn't the exact kind of thing that the UWP was doing in the 2021 to 2025 period? If it's not a rejock, it was a Martinez. It was, and who does that? Those kind of political blunders and miscalculations. Isn't that what led you to where you are right now? Every time you bring on some kind of foreign hitman, some kind of foreign mercenary, some kind of venal, crook that you bring in, is always somebody who has a whole lot of shade clinging to them, somebody who always has some shadowy past and has been in jail. If it's not a rejock, it's a Martinez, and you keep doing the same kind of thing. And I ask myself, the leader who was leader of the party, or some woman who seems to be your prime surrogate, she comes and she antagonizes everybody in the party, from Ozzy Boy to Jimmy Hines to Pinkley, Francis and so on, because she knows everything. And at a time when you should be working on serious political messaging, effective political messaging, or the best you can do is to come on alive with all the anger that can be projected by one's countenance, to ask a minister whether he meets the minimum size of penis. I don't know since when that was set. And you have another one who's putting on women's clothes and doing the drag queen, cross-dressing kind of thing, whining and shaking his bam bam and levying his catchy for people to see under his saguen and this kind of thing. Kind of thing we saw. Who does that thing and kept on doing it, and even after an election, they still want to do that vibe, If there's anything about Timothy Polly or anybody else, a social media influencer who posts something, acts like a psycho, and then responds to their own post and responds to the response. So you look at 20 posts after the initial, thing that they've put up, and it's all them and so on. You talk about it and they want to start screaming at you. Who takes on repeatedly and habitually those kinds of people after you have lost an election where you got only 2 seats, but you continue for 5 years doing that same old thing? So, I mean, what you're afraid of? What you're afraid of, Labour Party people? These people, do you all understand that Alan Shastney winning that seat? Y'all heard me in the beginning. I used to rant and rave about how Shastney is not being put under pressure in Deriso, in Miku South. And then later on, you heard me come and I kind of amended myself. I said, look, maybe him not being under pressure is the best thing. Because making him feel that he is the hottest thing, since hot bread and so on.
His narcissism.
Exactly. This guy is never going to learn. And across these years, we have seen for a man who made it, who took St. Lucia by storm, became prime minister on his debut outing as political leader and so on. This was the first time the UWP had won any election without John Compton, right? Every other election that they had won, they had John Compton at the helm. They lost the one in 97 because Compton said he had stepped down. But once Compton was there, except for 79, of course, every election UWP won. Well, they lost in 79, so it figures. They won it. Alan Shastney broke. He broke that bit of history and precedence and so on. But you got a feeling the guy learned nothing. The guy actually regressed. He got worse in every department of everything. And I said, look, Shastney winning, being the only one in the UWP to win his seat, probably means that the UWP will never be able to reform and restructure and revive, because he now holds the cards. Apart from being, it is presumed, the bankroller of the United Workers' Party, the guy is now the only one who has the constitutional legitimacy of a parliamentary seat, which automatically makes him leader of the opposition, which automatically makes him chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. You know how bloody it is to have someone who has leadership ambitions, being the only person in a political party to hold a seat, and you want to replace him as political leader of the party. You know how difficult that is? And so when Shastney says he tenders his resignation, I'll talk about it a bit more, but I'm too guilty too often of having someone there with me and then talking my way right through the whole half hour. Butu, what's on your mind? What you thinking?
Oh.
I notice you seem to de-emphasize the red as well.
Sure. Oh, yes, I have. I mean, I wore my little star today as I would normally have done over on the campaign trail, but I also, like you, figure it's time to not. Yesterday was the last day I would have worn my hat.
That's right.
And any particular paraphernalia that would outrightly, of course, my star is here for, it's Christmas time, so like the star atop my tree, it's red. But in any case, Shelton,
and
like you,
the color accent of Christmas
is red.
Generally is red.
It's red. And like you, I would like for us to. I mean, it sounds cliched. It just sounds so cliche after an election, Shelton, that you always hear people saying it's time for us to heal. The Flubos were saying after all the last election, after all the nasty attacks in 2016.
Oh, before you say anything, move on. Election is over. Move on and so on. But you know what I find? The Flubos are telling us to move on when they lose. But I find Labour Party, when they win, they're having too much difficulty. They challenge to move on.
To move on,
that. We
to
banged
move
them
on.
already, man. We banged them already.
But you know, I think also we can't discount the fact that we had 20. I consider 2021. Sorry, 2021 to 2025, and even 2016. That 10-year period, right, was essentially one of Labour Party's non-stop campaign, because Alan Chasney and his goons did enough for us to be on their case as well. But on the flip side, we had a government where we were trying to work, but then they tried in all ways to try to infiltrate the nasty politics and everything. So I think we felt that we were forced to respond. So I think it takes a matter of now people getting used to the fact that, listen, it's almost as if he is, in terms of any influence or power within, even within the United Workers' Party in the country itself. I think it's time. It'll take a while for our people on the ground to understand that he's no longer part of it. Yeah. So it 10 years is a long time.
Of
9
course,
years for it to become ingrained in you and to become a part of you. So I sort of understand that, but I would also, like you, appeal to Labour Party supporters, especially ones who are vocal like myself. And I did state in one of my posts that I'll stop the trolling after Sunday. That's last lap for me. That's carnival for me. So I think for me now it's serious issues for us to rally behind our government. I think Philip J. Pierre, during his last term, has shown enough for us to want to rally behind him. We have all areas of society have felt in some way at least one. I'm being very, very, very pessimistic when I say one. In fact, I'll be generous to those who are critical of Philip J. Pierre by saying even one, but I can say at least 2-3 of his policies have touched all sections of society. So with that, I say it's time for us to now, of course, hold our government to account, but also rally behind him and provide the necessary support that he needs. Now, Shelton, yesterday, I'd like to thank you for making and probably I'd say keeping me relevant. Because the amount of love and outpouring of love, and I always feel that Labour Party functions, the hugs and the
which is why I suspect they like our people. They like this vibe.
They like it.
Family.
It's like family. It's a good feeling.
There's a cohesion and we tight.
Yeah,
kind of vibes. You know?
It is a good feeling. And on a side note, I met Auntie Emma yesterday as she was arriving, and I said, Auntie is back, as I hugged her. And she gave the laugh. Let me tell you, Shelton. She gave the laugh.
Yes.
But I brought my daughter to the field yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw her in the picture with Steve. Yeah?
With Steve, yeah.
Yes.
And it was for her to also witness.
Is she going to get a 2-fronty for Christmas?
Oh, yes, it's halfway out. Or maybe a third out.
Yeah, she's still pretty. Very pretty.
You know, I brought her there to witness and also be a part of history. Because like I did, at my cousins at the Mangal's house when John Odleman, when the PLP had their meetings right there outside the house opposite Victoria Hospital. I was there as a child. And I also want her to, but of course, as she grows, I will educate her about the electoral process, why it's important, why I voted for Uncle Kenson, why that picture, thanking the Prime Minister in that picture as she get older, allow her to understand as those things manifest themselves. But listening to the Prime Minister yesterday, it reinforced my sense of optimism, which I strongly believe that the entirety of this country, or the majority of the country, is feeling right now. And could you imagine watching my daughter run yesterday with other girls her age and everything? I remember that her PE teacher said that she was a bullet, and incidentally, that's Pep's son, and in a relationship with my dad and Pep. And that optimism came from knowing that there are avenues where her talents, whether sporting or otherwise, it can be nurtured into something beneficial to both her and the country. Even watching how she made the snowflakes on the Christmas tree, it made me think of the TVET schools, Shelton, and the fact that we're no longer under this whole grammar school type of education system. And you've seen now the diversification of instruction of the curriculum within the education system. It gives me hope and optimism for that my child, whatever she decides to do, she can do. Now, I took notes because I figured it's very important to make sure I don't forget anything. Now, Shelton and the Real Issues listeners, we must understand the symbiotic relationship between government and the people of the country. Right? In biology, we were taught that there were 3 types of symbiosis: the commensalism, mutualism, and parasitism. Folks, what we saw with the Chasney administration from 2016 to 2021 was nothing short of parasitism. We all knew who benefited from the taxes that we paid. And it wasn't us. It wasn't us, the people of St. Lucia. What we saw under Philip J. Pierre was a mix of commensalism, where government enacted policies and there was no particular benefit to them financially or otherwise. We look at the social safety nets and everything. But generally, there was mutualism in that we understand that the investment made by this government is in its people. It will come back to the government and the country tenfold. Because we know how to have an educated and motivated workforce in turn benefits the socioeconomic development of the country. Now, that said, we must also understand the benefits of raising the income tax threshold. And again, there's the mutualism. When we have more disposable income, the more likely it is for the average person to spend more. Now, when they shop, the health and security levy goes back into healthcare and the healthcare system, our hospitals, etc., and the police force to keep us safe. So this is the type of symbiotic relationship that must exist between the government and the people. And once that balance is tipped in either one's favor, a country's development is stalled. You know, so I want us to as we move forward, when you hear people talking about certain things like the health and security levy, where it has been explained so much by the Prime Minister during his last administration, I know these are talking points that are going to come up again, but we are armed with information and knowledge, and it's just basic. I don't even call it basic economics. I think that should be common sense for all of us to know how the money we spend comes back to us. So I think from now on, forget the Mapui with the Flubos, let them come with their Mapui. Let's focus on educating each other, educating the new voters coming on. And I will reiterate that the young people, you did a really wonderful job of ensuring that you protect what you started benefiting from. The laptops, the free education, young people. So I'm very, very proud of you. I remain proud of you. But I think moving forward, to tying to what you said, our motivations right now should be supporting the government and educating those who are at the basic level who have non-understanding. We saw the type of demographic that Chasney played to on the build up to their election. The people who we consider, for lack of a better term, ignorant in the sense of understanding governance and politics and policy. So we need to try to do our best to break it down to them, and so that they understand it's not about the party that you supported and what you can get personally, but how when the entire country benefits, you benefit. And on that note, Shelton, I think there may be an issue with the Facebook from the computers, from the PC level. You can't get into the comments. Only on my phone.
Oh, do I have a problem with our Facebook?
So that might be a server issue. But on my phone, I can see the comments. But I tried many times on the computer. I've tried different things.
Okay.
But that's all I wanted to say, Shelton.
Okay, maybe Jaquan can check it out. And there's something I want to appeal to my SLP brethren to understand. There's something that the old people call tiye honte en zio. You know, remove shame from your eyes. Can you imagine if you were a UWP supporter now, especially one of the vociferous, vocal, loud ones now? You have to find something to say. You have to find something to kind of soften the blow of embarrassment and humiliation that you feel. So they're going to invent some things about election was not fair, and there was the voters' list, and there was this, and there was that, and there was rejock have to come. That's all probably all part of a defense mechanism of coping with and softening the embarrassment, the shame, the humiliation that they feel. You know, you don't need to go after them on everything sooner rather than later. All these comments about, like the lady who allegedly said she's going to tell her Congress representative in the States not to admit St. Lucians for healthcare because they turned away how much again it was? The 75,000 that Alan Chasney. All of this is what you call power honte. It's only a matter of time before they will start turning on Alan Chasney. They'll start, waking up to reality and telling that, look, absolutely foolish and misguided and moronic political leadership has landed you where you are today. Of a leader who was more concerned about people submitting to him. Of a leader who was more concerned with being vindictive towards people and so on. We don't have to respond to them or go after them or make it like we're in a quarrel with them. The campaign season was the season of quarrel and so on. That gone already. Gone already. Don't bother yourself with that. You're going to see the cannibalistic thing and so on that is going to take place. You don't need to be fighting. The fight has been fought and it has been won. Leave that alone. People are going to be making all kinds of statements for a time. And then the reality will totally and finally sink in. Stop keeping the quarrel going and so on. All these things have been litigated. And we know on whose side the verdict came down emphatically. It's 1 o'clock now, so we'll take the break. When we come back, a few more comments, and we're going to be opening the phone lines. But I'm going to tell you, from this week, we're toning it down. We're toning it down. The campaign is over. Elections done, and they won. Prime Minister has been sworn in again. Okay? The rest of cabinet will be sworn in either this week or next week.
By Thursday,
what he said and so
yeah.
on. We're going to be having it. This weekend is National Day. And then we're moving on from there into Christmas and New Year and Asu Square and then Independence and so on. Now is a time to take a national view if we had already lost it. And let us come together. We have things to occupy our minds with. Election excitement and motorcade and launching and rally and this and that. Folks, what are we together as a people going to do about the crime problem in this country? The shootings and so on, which I have to say, throughout the latter part of the election campaign, things seem to have quieted down. But we must never take those things for granted.
Never.
What about, the environmental issues, the garbage disposal problems, the road traffic problem, the accidents and the craziness that's taking place? We have to think about those things. And we can only think about it when we think of ourselves in a national St. Lucian collective conscious and so on, collective context and so on. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters will continue shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice, the voice, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters is on. Now, there seems to be a misunderstanding, and I hope it's me that's wrong. You see, words have what you call their primary meaning, and they have what we call their nuances, the subtle shades of difference in them. So it isn't every word that you go to the dictionary and it will give you a sense of the context. I think there's denotation and there's connotation. There is content and there is context. The Americans are very good at that, using words because of the connotation. So they don't like a certain government, they'll never refer to it as a government. It's always a regime. You know?
Yeah.
The Venezuelan regime. The Argentine government, because you know they're on good terms with them. They have rebels trying to overthrow a government. Well, they're on the side of those rebels. They'll call them freedom fighters. Oh, the Honduran or the Nicaraguan freedom fighters, which are trying to, you know, push back against the Ortega regime or the Castro regime and so on. They have a government that they support and they're rebels trying to overthrow that government. Those rebels become insurgents. It's insurgents. They are the insurgents. They do that all the time. Voice of America, you know, oh my goodness. This thing, and respectable sounding, good journalists. They don't choose any pash person, you know. And so when somebody says they tender their resignation, my understanding has always been that there is a subtle difference between resigning, plain and simple, outright, and tendering your resignation. You put your resignation on the table for consideration. I put it at your disposal. You decide whether you will accept it or not. A person who resigns don't give their employer or their boss or whoever it is that option. I'm resigning, I'm quitting. I remember in 1996, following the results of the Central Castries by-election, which the UWP run was won, there was said to be a heated and contentious meeting at Labour Party headquarters in the Tom Walcott building on Jeremy Street, and it came out, Julian Hunt came out and he said to the press, I have resigned. I have resigned as leader of the Labour Party, and I will resign as the leader of the opposition tomorrow. 2 resignations. He didn't tender any resignation. Basically said, I'm quitting. On the other hand, if I say something on this program which results in a lot of, you might say, outcry because I made a misstatement or whatever, and people are thinking, I can say to Dr. McDowell, Doc, I think I made a misstatement, but it's up to you to decide my fate. I'm tendering my resignation. He can do one of 2 things. He can call me or write me and say, Shelton, it is with regret. They usually say it's with regret, but sometimes they're glad that I accept, you know, your resignation and I wish you the best, etc. Or you can say, Shelton, I don't think this is enough for you to quit, take your vacation now, I'm not accepting your resignation, blah, 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 etc. So, I understood Alan Shastey in light of the absolute bludgeoning that the United Workers' Party has received for the second time. For the second time. Alan Shastey has not grown the UWP or improved it or bettered its fortunes as its leader. That is saying to the UWP, I'm tendering my resignation. In other words, I'm putting it on the table, I'm offering it to you. If you accept it, it takes effect. If you don't accept it, I will stay on. Now I understand. I understand that it's a done deal. It's sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered that Alan Shastey has resigned as UWP leader. I don't think it's going anywhere. Alan Shastey understands that even though he doesn't have a good slate to show, a very good record book to show as leader of the UWP, especially since 2021, but I want to put it to you that Alan Shastey, to me, was a fiasco right after the 2016 elections. It was just absolutely disjointed, a mess, a hot mess with him right through. That Alan Shastey is saying to the UWP, through of all people, Thurl Prudent, I mean, what's the credibility of
Pendulum Prudent?
Thurl Prudent. Will Prudent ever write back to him and say, that we have accepted or the National Council or whatever they call themselves, might do that? Alan Shastey knows that by tendering his resignation, most likely the UWP, who love the Greek who comes bearing gifts, that is bankrolling the party, that they'll tell him, no, hold on, for now, we need you there, we need you. And he's in a powerful position relative to the weak UWP. He's the only MP that there is. You understand? What do you think?
Shelton, the interesting question here is we need to find out whether it's in the UWP's constitution, when he tenders his resignation, what part of the UWP's hierarchy, the organizational structure, is the one to make a determination whether to accept it or not. And are these people who form part of that grouping, are they his minions, as we've seen him do?
Exactly.
So, it's still too early, like you say, to say.
Exactly. Alan Shastey has not learnt anything. Shastey gets beaten 15-2. Shastey comes back. It's the same Nancy Charles and the same guy Joseph and the same Dominic Fede and the same whatever that the guy is pushing forward and putting in positions where they can influence the outcome. And this will be no exception, because the only way he can survive the internal blood hunting in the UWP is that he has to have people like that in positions and so on. So that's a game that Shastey is playing. Okay? A game that he knows he will win, albeit it is a win in a losing cause.
And we must remember that he is a narcissist, so the spotlight will always be his best friend.
Right. and I mean, basically, Labour Party people, don't be too vexed. All this thing you're suggesting about King and Richard should sit on the opposition. I mean, people, come on. The best thing that can happen to Labour, and the worst is for Alan Shastey to continue to remain as opposition leader and as leader of the party, because the party will never reform, it will never restructure, it will never grow. It will be about Shastey wanting to remain in the Shasteys believe that they have purchased the UWP. UWP is now their property. You believe they're going to give it up? They might as well give up, how they call it, Alfiona Investments and Colony House and all this kind of thing. UWP is part of their stock and inventory, that they have purchased it and so on. The final thing I want to say, and I hope especially young people, take some time not just to go and to report and to read news and to type stories. Use your spare time to educate yourself, because you are confusing opposition with the UWP, which is the main opposition entity or organization. So when we talk about the main opposition, United Workers' Party, and there is opposition in the parliamentary sense, the parliamentary opposition. The parliamentary opposition does not have to be only or all UWP. The moment, if that suggestion of yours, crazy as it is, were taken and accepted, and King and Richard were to go so that they could prevent Shastey from becoming leader, they become part of the opposition. They may not be in the UWP, but once you do not support the government, Once you do not vote with the government, you are the opposition. It doesn't matter whether it's a fractured opposition, whether it's fragmented. As in 1982, we had one PLP in John Odlum and two SLP in Cicely and Neville Snack, Chandel Mall, okay? There were 14 UWP people and there were 3 opposition people, but they were not of the same party. Alan Chasney, let us say that it's true that he has resigned as leader of the UWP. He has not yet resigned as the opposition MP because he has not even been sworn in, for that matter. But let's say he decides not to take up his seat at all, so he doesn't take up his seat. The mechanisms would have to be triggered for a by-election, okay? Once he takes up his seat, he must become the leader of the opposition if there is nobody else.
And if he resigns from the party...
If he resigns as leader of the opposition, he effectively resigns, from the parliament as well. That's my understanding of it. And if he resigns, a by-election has to be held within 90 days, I think.
But even if he resigns from the party, he can resign from the party and still be an MP. And he can still be leader of the opposition as an independent.
Exactly. So he has been duly elected. Parliament is not concerned about political parties. The Governor General appoints from those elected members of the House of Assembly the member who he sees as being most likely to command a majority, a support of the majority of the members who do not support the government. In this case, as far as we know, there's only one person who doesn't support the government, and that's Alan Chasney. That automatically will make him leader of the opposition. It's a role that has been filled before by Louis George as the lone. He became leader of the opposition. I don't think he ever became leader of the UWP, but he became leader of the opposition. And so, stop going and say that Chasney has resigned as the MP or whatever. That has not happened. He has not even been sworn in for his next term, which will be his third one as the MP for good. And automatically, I think that will make him leader of the chair of the Public Accounts Committee. He can still resign as leader of the UWP, have nothing to do with the UWP. But let me tell you this. The history has not been good on the side of political parties that have a different person as leader of the party and another one as leader of the opposition in parliament who's from the same party. It has not been good, it has not been successful, it has tended not to work for them. So you have one person, let us say Thurl Prudence becomes leader of the UWP, political leader, and Alan Chasney becomes the only MP and is leader of the opposition because Prudence doesn't have a seat, Chasney alone has. The history is not very good in terms of the success that it brings in, the political bacon that it brings in to the party. It happens, but sometimes after you take blows. Keith Mitchell was fired by a man called, I think, Hubert Blaze from the New National Party in Grenada or whatever it was, because he was considered to be ambitious and so on. And whatever it was, Keith Mitchell didn't have the position of leader of the opposition. Whatever, something. He had won the leadership of the NNP, but whatever it was, they had displaced him in the parliament or something of that kind. In the end, Keith Mitchell, he went through a little, bad time and so on. But he came back stronger and I think at one point won all the seats. I think he did it twice. I can't really remember. But in post, not revolution Grenada, but in post-US invasion Grenada, there was a lot of, up and down, topsy-turvy kind of thing. But young people, learn please. There is a difference between the leader of the opposition in parliament, which basically nobody can touch Alan Chasney because he has won his seat. Disqualifying him, usually he'll resign and there'll be a by-election, as opposed to being leader of the United Workers' Party. Constitutionally, these are two separate things, and the Constitution doesn't really even speak of the leaders of political parties. There's no time for them. So please, stop putting in your news that Chasney has quit as leader of the opposition or quit the seat that he just won, whatever. Butu.
Yes, Shelton, I was just saying that it's interesting that you mentioned Louis George, and it's also funny that you mentioned young people because it's not only young people who have that issue. I had to actually use Louis George as an example over the weekend, that Louis George was the lone parliamentarian after the 97 win, but he was the leader of the opposition, but he was not leader of the UWP at the time. So I think Fawn Lewis would have still been leader at the time because he did lead the party to that election. And Morrell at some point became the leader, the party's leader.
Yeah, yes.
But just two quick things, Shelton. I did post about it, and I know I'm in no position to influence, but there's this young lady from VA4 who was the executive director of the Folk Research Center, Raisa Joseph.
Yes.
This young lady impresses me so much. And I'm just saying that when consideration is given to our senators, our two senators who are neither affiliated with either of the two political parties, that we have young people like her to serve in the Senate who can really contribute.
You're talking about now that Senator Jawahi is now...
Yeah, it's now... Yeah.
And so
I'm talking about on the independent senator side.
Okay. Oh, independent
senators.
Okay.
I think maybe those... It's an avenue as well. Someone like Raisa can show young people that you can contribute without having to bring the partisan lens, and you can agree with a party or the
composition of the Senate will be very interesting.
It will be very interesting.
Very interesting to watch. Will Gideon Ferdinand, be reappointed to there? Who's going to take the place formerly held by Lisa Jawahi now?
Right.
I think Raisa would be a good person if she would be prepared to who's gonna if Gideon doesn't come back, will it be a situation of, say, Alison Jean will be bumped up, to become leader of government business. So many permutations and combinations and possibilities. Again, as you say, who will Chastney appoint as his three people, in the Senate? Will it be Nancy Guy and Herod or somebody like that, So,
oh, wow. I'm just getting a notification, folks, from my antivirus on my computer. It says we blocked a connection to a potentially risky site. An app on your device tried to access a potentially unsafe site, and we blocked it to protect your device and privacy. If you recognize and trust the source, you can allow it. Guess what it says? uwpstlucia.com.
Wow.
uwpstlucia.com. So, folks, I wouldn't be surprised if there are attempts to try to hack my social media, my emails, and my computers. So, folks, be very wary. But the second thing I wanted to see as regards to composition of Parliament, but this one is part of the seating arrangements. My brother, I would really love if the leader of the opposition had Honorable Stephenson King sitting right next to him. And right after Steve is Richard Frederick. I'm going to have a field day watching the discomfort on in this man's face, on his body language, just knowing that he's close to two of probably the people he most despises after Ernest Tiller in the Parliament. But that's just my twisted mind thinking of how I'm going to make Alan Chastney uncomfortable during this term in office. But all in all, Shelton, I agree with you that we need to understand and familiarize ourselves with the entire political process, the governance process. When I went to school, we were taught the arms and branches of government. But I think civics as itself, if not a core aspect, a core part of our curriculum, that's something that's mandatory at least the infant to primary school level. I think it should be made mandatory so we understand the electoral process, and we generally don't go when our time comes to place our first ballot. We don't go there voting blindly and just because, like we commonly say, that my mother, my father, my family was flubbo this and this man gave my mother something to come and vote for him, so I think mate will always take care of me, that kind of thing. We need to be informed when we go place our ballot, because placing that ballot is very important. If we saw, as in the case of 2016, we saw the detriment to our country where we placed our X in the wrong place, although it brought us Philip J. Pierre, Moses, but we need to be very wary and very understanding of the importance of that electoral process. I think that's it for me.
All right. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Let's open the phone lines now for some calls, and we'll read some messages. The number to dial if you want to WhatsApp call us is 487-9849. That's 487-9849. Don't need to tell you the area code 758. And you can also reach us on our landline, which is 4533-911. It's the closing week of the Real Issues for 2025. Mashaba Karabo says on the YouTube feed, Sheldon, it's Shelton actually. I want to listen to your show. Stop using Chastney name like a mantra. I don't want to miss out on positive information, but I'm tired of hearing this man name. It's amazing. I'm getting blues on the very day that I'm let's push that aside. That's when this person finds I'm looking. You haven't been listening to all my comments. I'm Mashaba Karabo, Dr. Carlton Augustine says the Governor General appoints the independent senators. Yes, indeed. So it won't be a case of the government, but we're getting our first call. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Miguel.
Yeah,
How
speak
are
up a
you
bit for us.
doing?
I don't know what. Okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Shelton?
Yeah, I'm hearing you kind of weakly, but Jaquan is about to do something about it. All right, go
Yeah, but
ahead.
I'm hearing you very clearly.
Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Shelton, I wanted to focus on voting. Miguel just started talking about the importance of voting. I heard in the media that two candidates were caught with funds and so on. I'm not dwelling on the funds that they were caught with and what they intended to do with the funds. My concern is more with the people who would accept these funds in order for them to vote in a particular direction. I think, Shelton, it's a good time for the education system to train our young people on the importance of voting and the reason that they're voting. For me, it's not about voting for a candidate or a party, but it's about voting for ourselves, for our future, and the future of our children. And so they need to arm themselves with the policies, the initiatives that are being presented to them by the particular parties and make a determination on which one suits them for the future. So $100, $200 should not be the incentive for one to vote in a particular direction, but more for the future of myself, my family, my children. I have a very, to me, it's very disturbing that you can have politicians walk around with large sacks of money on election day and dishing it out to appease people to vote in one direction or the other. That for me is very concerning, and I hope we deal with it in the future.
Okay,
Thank you.
what's the going rate for a vote? Do you know?
Massive, I ain't 100, I ain't 200, I ain't 300.
Can you imagine somebody can persuade me to vote for them for $100, man?
Here's the thing, though.
Maybe it means a lot to some people.
Here's the thing,
But
though,
once
Mrs.
yet,
Shaw.
Shelton, how do we know that the person has
Voted for you.
That's right.
For
know?
you.
That's right.
Here's the thing, Mrs. Shadow. The question I've been posing to people with the two characters involved or allegedly caught with, well, not allegedly, they were caught. It's been said they were caught with money. Could you, if they had that amount, could you imagine how much their leader would have probably had?
Woo! Okay. No, but could you imagine how much was passed even before they were caught?
Even before. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Also, Shelton and Miguel, I'm told that in some constituencies, some big, maybe lords in the communities had people's ID cards.
Yes,
they held on to people's ID cards and was making requests, for large sums of money for these people to vote for them. Wow. I mean, it's really about the importance of a vote.
Yep.
That is serious business that I think we need to look into. And I'm heartened that the number of children who, like the young guy said, who cannot vote but they can support, from now, I believe they need to be taught on how important it is to vote wisely. Not about just the songs and about the sensationalism, but about voting for their future.
But
all those that want to come and talk about the children by the Ave Maria School who were out there waving and so on, it's a great awareness to these children about the importance of voting. All of that, we have to see the positives coming out of it.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
You know what Dr. Jean just said there? It's interesting and it's true, but there's something we need to understand in the world of media, especially television, communications, and perception. It is about the difference, the competition, and the inevitable victory between the abstract and what is concrete.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, it's all right to say that people must learn to vote for a cause, for the future, for the children, as opposed to voting for a party. Yeah, you're there. Hold on just 1 second for me. It's all right to say that. But a candidate and a party tend to be closer to... Yes, you're there. Just hold on a second. I will finish my sentence. That they are... Okay, all right. Well, sorry about that. But we have to time for a break anyway. Yeah. All right. You have to look at what is concrete and what is abstract. A candidate, a political party, etc., they are closer to being the concrete, the identifiable. And so people will tend to attach their intention to vote and their allegiance to vote. Exactly.
Yeah.
To what is concrete, what is discernible, what is immediate, and so on. As opposed to our future and this and that, it's kind of vague, it's kind of abstract and so on. So you have to find a way to get through those kind of thinking, and you can't do it in one day or in an election season. It is basically re-engineering the whole ethos and the whole morality of a society, which can be much easier said than even thought about. All right, Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll take this call before we go for a break. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Yeah, Shelton.
Yeah, hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Miguel.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Shelton, I want you to stop calling him on Botu, because the man is calling you no names.
Man, that's my name, man.
All
Leave
right.
it.
Hey, the man huff you too. You're trying to go and put a word for the man and he huff you. So,
Maka bien oui because we're my Shelton.
all right, okay. So
Anyway,
what's up?
Shelton, I wanted to ask the same question Dr. Allison was asking there. How can it be on that day that people have that amount of cash walking together simultaneously, twice, the same time? No but money of limited. All that amount of cash, on the very same day, something is very wrong. And according to
And don't we have laws about
I was saying that's for the it's 27, it's 10,000 US.
No, but they told me one of them had 12,000 something US on
it's
it.
it's 10,000 US. That's the equivalent of 10,000 US. That's 27 EC. That's the AML threshold.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend.
So how much can the leader must have had? Then you see a video of Lady Lee also paying up. So it's how much cash? Where did people take all this cash on that day? Now I also saw a comment where people say, what about both parties paying people to come down to vote? One thing I can attest to people, Shelton, I dropped so many people at the airport to go to St. Lucia. And one thing I could tell you, majority of the Labour supporters I dropped at the airport to go home to vote paid their own ticket. Whereas I could tell you who was paying the UWP supporters to come down. Majority of Labour people, they were complaining, they're telling you, and these people were paying their tickets.
Brother, you hit a new one. You hit a new one, brother. But Flabo even pay for laborers to come down unwittingly.
I know that. I don't profile on that.
That's true, Shelton.
Got ticket. Anyway, Shelton.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters will continue after this commercial break when we'll be in the home stretch to our wrap up at about 2 o'clock.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This is The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. I'm Shelton Daniel with Miguel Evelyn Favrier, and we have a caller on the line already. Real Issues, you're on the air, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
You're on the air, my friend. You can go ahead. You can talk. We're hearing you.
Good afternoon. I miss you all fellas, I must say. But being in the trenches to get the outcome, contributing to the outcome.
Well, we've been on the air every day. So what period you missed us?
I was just saying good afternoon and how I miss you all fellas.
Yeah, but when did you miss us?
I've been in the trenches. And
Okay. You were not able to listen. All right, understand.
Perspective of a lot of different things.
Okay.
And in the trenches, I understood the extent of your program in terms of elevating and letting people see a different side of a number of things in St. Lucia. All the way in the areas of Millet and Jackmel and Montciso, people referring to me, Matan Wow Ale Shelton. And all the things there and still there, I don't think you all get real issues, get enough kudos on the extent to which you have really enlightened people's minds as far as that program is concerned. And I think along the way, we said that. And so we have to get the kudos. We have to get it. Very, very important.
Okay.
But Shelton made some important points there also regarding the kind of Bwakase attitude of Labour people and Labour voters. And the kind of Bwakase, and the election has taken place, the government is there in the communities, regardless of all the things that the district rep or the government would have done. They still, to me, getting it from the church, they don't relate it to, their well-being and livelihood and these kind of things there. And somebody called, I believe there's a very important piece of education from the as low levels of the school system. We're going to have to educate people along them lines there. I'm not even bringing the context of the paying for the vote. I came face to face with this thing that are very serious, very serious. But I believe some of the Bwakase attitude and postures of Labour people stems from the point which Shelton made, or the point he made regarding what I call it the debacle of the 79-82 period with the Comrade Odlum and Josie and the Labour Party and things. So these kind of things, we probably don't take consideration to it, but these things etch people's minds. And I believe there was a high level of distrust from about the working people and their outlook to people who they had observed as champions in the struggle in the areas of 12 to 15 years, when the two comrades struggled in the valleys and things and get people enlightened with respect to some of them issues. So when that debacle, you call it, came, they were very disappointed. And I can see the sense of disappointment between the working people, as far as the working people are concerned, and what I would call it, the political class. There's a very serious level, very serious level of mistrust. So I think it's incumbent on the comrade there in his second term to do the things that are necessary to try to elevate the minds of the working people as far as going forward. And you made the point, I don't want to hold up your program.
Yeah, go ahead.
You made the point that I don't think the, what you call it, tendering the resignation, I think that is a smoke screen and things too. Right? I don't believe Alan Chasney and his class would just rest there and working people, labor people, the government and its structures and things have to be very observant as far as what the things are concerned. I want to disagree a little with Shelton regarding the point about the rejecting. I mean, I was disgusted. How somebody, St. Bishop brought up, talk about journalism or broadcast and things so, to the extent of having gotten what prize he's got or whatever, and OBE, they had imposed on him and things so for journalism and things, and you accepting of a call Rejo with all his history and things so come on your program and try to pour cold water on the democratic process of a country, and to suggest as though when a fellow call him as though he didn't know them and not just called. This thing on WhatsApp tells you the thing is encrypted at both ends. So that could have been a whole cocoa macaquerie to try to I'm sorry, my brother. We'll speak again sometime.
All right, okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you something, Buto. If I were to make it a staple, a regular, or one might say a real big deal on the real issues, that I were to have those kinds of people like Rijok and Martinez.
You devalue yourself.
What would I do? I'll be devaluing the program.
Yeah.
I'll be undermining my own credibility, my own respectability as a talk show host, as a media person, etc. and so on. And that's what I'm saying. If we look at this thing in its proper context, especially after an election victory which says that what you had been doing for the previous 5-10 years have not worked. This is the exact thing which has caused people to become disgusted with you and with their party which they perceive you as being a supporter or a member of. And anytime you lose respectability, you lose credibility and so on, you devalue your stocks and your currency where a program's popularity and people taking it serious are concerned. And that's what I'm saying. Let the self-inflicted punishment go on. We have been in this intense pushback and rebuttal and refutation of all those things that are happening. Man, to me now we should relax. Don't be taking that thing on shoe, you know, every day and so on. If people want to continue down that road, it's probably a good signal of how they intend to conduct themselves over the next 5 years or whatever. We have important things to do.
Yeah, you know, since Dr. Anthony was able to coin his own term, the Belrose Doctrine, can I call this the guy effect? Because you realize that this is what the former Castries Southeast MP did. Right. He continued along the same path that allowed him to lose the election in 2021, and he even ramped it up.
Yes,
in with all his nonsense pronouncements. You
it's always about a MIP. It's always about you know who your boyfriend is and this and this kind of thing and so on. And I'm saying, but wait, you did that already. You got really shellacked and obliterated. Oh, is there anything beyond when you're obliterated?
I haven't.
No. There probably is. They can kill you and then kill you dead. I mean, they kill you in 2021. They kill you dead in 2025. You still come in with all kind of foolishness. Rejock, Martinez. This is the kind of thing you come in with, and the exact things that did not work for you. You know, and they not only work, they brought you into a certain degree of shame, disrepute, embarrassment, where you basically get looked down upon. You want to bring it again? I mean, why should I be, you know, abusing my own temperament to want to take you on? Yeah.
For me, it's disappointing and disheartening because I try to stay from being critical publicly of him. Okay. But he was responsible for me being in the media. And between he and Wayne, my first news director, I did my job interview there. He was there. So I try to stay from being too publicly critical of him. But I've been very, very disappointed for years now with the way he's operated as a talk show host.
All right. You know, and the internal bloodbath is unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable.
It is.
We have a call on the line. Real issues.
Hey, good afternoon, Shelton Miguel.
Hey, hi. What's up, Doc?
Good afternoon.
My focus is on protecting the victory. And we cannot protect the victory if I see some of the things that we are writing. For example, people are calling for permanent secretaries to be fired. I mean, Mr. Pierre has explained the difficulties with this. That is putting the government in extra expense. If they do a mass firing of permanent secretaries as people want, where will they get money to have the laptop program, to give pensioners the $600? That is not Mr. Pierre's politics. Others are calling for the CDP funds to be withheld from Chasney. That is not Mr. Pierre. We cannot protect the victory by some of the things we are asking for. Shelton, people want to be billionaires. You know what is my wish? That Labour gets up before I die. See Labour in power for 3 terms.
Okay.
And to this end, we have to protect them. We cannot be, you know, especially I think it's disrespectful to Mr. Pierre. He's explained some of those things. Even the one about having King and Frederick on the upper justice party. He said that is not his called in and let it die, people. You know, I just think it's, and we cannot protect the victory if we are going on this road. You know, let us continue what the progress we have made, the work of the programs of the government, and support Mr. Pierre. And stop trying, because the worst thing we could do is to appear to be vindictive to Alan Chasney. We're going to resurrect him because Labour made a mistake. 79. John Compton was politically dead, and we resurrected him. We cannot make that same mistake. Politics is strange. I thought John Compton was unable to, after 79, was unable to walk in Castries. That's how unpopular he was. And within a year, he was like the savior. And don't rule that out. Despite all we have all the files we have on Alan Chasney, the worst thing we could do is to resurrect his political life.
Yes.
So let us continue to protect the victory.
Yes.
Agreed.
Just one other point I wanted to make.
Sure.
I'm saying the regional people are dying over the swearing ceremony. The amount of regional leaders that were there. You know, you see, if you read the online comments, some people are impressed. How come Mr. Pierre was able to get all those regional leaders to come to his swearing in? And they've never seen that at any other swearing in. And this tells you the affinity, the legacy Mr. Pierre has built, that people want to be around him. And we at St. Lucian should really appreciate that. That little swearing in, you know, for a shy Munjalu, people are posting, people are angry.
Let me ask you, Doc. I'm not saying that you must have been the protocol officer who was given that assignment, but how come I didn't see Dr. Friday, come and attend the swearing in? I'm sure he must have been invited.
I don't know.
Prime Minister would not invite Gaston Brown all the way up north in Antigua and invite
That's what
Roosevelt
I mean. St. Kitts further.
Huh?
It's hard. St. Kitts is, it's hard to get to St. Kitts, you know.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to go. For example, when I lived in St. Kitts, sometimes on a Sunday I come home, go back to St. Kitts, pass through all the islands, you know.
Yes.
Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Antigua, Montserrat. And you know.
And I mean, the swearing in was on a Friday, you know.
Yeah.
It was on the Friday
Well,
after Surely Dr. Friday must have had enough time to get his act together to just skip over here to St. Lucia.
maybe he wasn't invited. I don't know.
I doubt that. You just told us that this is not Prime Minister Pierre's style and that's not his way. I don't think he would have ever not invited the man, you know. But anyway.
Yeah, but people ask the question. You know, it's been, people are impressed that he was able to get all those leaders in such a short space of time.
For sure.
And that's tell the flabbers, put that in the pipe and smoke it. People love our PM.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Now, Cornelia Jacob has essentially sent me a message, which I think she's saying good riddance and whatever. Cornelia, I'm not talking to you now. And if you don't believe me, try to call this program, today or anytime this week. She says, I'm looking forward to winning prizes because I say, we tone things down for the Christmas and not seeing you anymore. I can't wait for Baton Relay. Okay, I mean, you have basically sealed your own fate and your own doom. So try calling me to see if I'm talking to you. Miguel is going to take the call completely. You, this Cornelia Jacob. One love always for you and me. We have another call on the line. Hello.
The Prime Minister of St. Vincent wasn't there. But I noticed, is it the guy who is the West Indies, the president of the West Indies Cricket Board?
Oh, Dr. Shallow was there?
Yeah, they said Dr. Shallow was there.
Okay, I didn't notice him. Okay, sorry about that. Dr. Kishore Shallow.
All right, cool.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Okay. In fact, I saw Dr. Shallow put out a statement saying that he'll serve out his term in the remainder of his term as president of West Indies Cricket, and he won't seek re-election after and so on. Yeah,
I think Jean Francis first said Dr. Friday sent Dr. Shallow.
On a Friday, the St. Vincent channel is not shallow enough to commit a little swim or a little walk across there and so on. But talking about Dr. Shallow, I mean, West Indies have put in a good performance in the first test against New Zealand. I mean, they worked their way to a draw. We had double century, we had century. I mean, there was some good performances by the West Indies cricketers, which a lot of people don't have time for. Is this flashing me?
Not shallow at all.
I mean, I'm seeing a little flashing thing there. All right. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Yeah, caller, you're on the air. The real issues.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm not. This is a voice I'm not talking to. But to take that one completely.
Good afternoon, Miss Jacob. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Let me tell you, my mood is red.
I was about to say the same thing.
We're in the Christmas month.
The
month for the VAT-free holiday, and the month we won the election, and the month that Shelton has to go on vacation.
And public servants get their bonuses.
All good things that have happened so far.
Bonuses for public servants.
I beg your pardon?
Bonuses for public servants.
Yes, the bonus.
Yes.
The bonus, the increase in pension, and all of that. Let me tell you all, I am excited, and incidentally, today is Monday. You know, a day any flubber will hear, let me tell you, when you're talking about flubber,
PTSD.
because that day when Mr. Pierre said, elections will be on a Monday. And then Mr. Pierre came and gave the Monday date. And the Monday date came, and today is another Monday. Yesterday, the thank you rally yesterday was phenomenal. It was enormous, gigantic, Latin moon. And we had the flabbers who were not Labour supporters, but voted because of Mr. Pierre. Let me tell you, Mr. Pierre, there is not yet a word to describe him. Mystery does not even cut it. But like Shelton says, we need to transform from campaign mode to governance mode. We go back to what is normal. And the flabbers are going to talk because they're bitter. They didn't get what they wanted. And how could anybody with a sense of anything that is right vote for what was presented there as a slate of candidates?
Okay. All right. Have we?
All right.
What's still in the slate, me?
Huh?
I still have my slate, you know.
You still have your slate?
I don't have a pencil, but I still have my slate. You know?
Yeah. Oh, Shafner tried to give us a slate of a slate,
Yeah,
but
Shafner had a slate.
The original slate, that slate could have never worked. I mean, come on. People who can barely speak or discuss issues, they discuss people. Motamlani, yon decimate to tell me, ni take a kuyen munipa no, ekadio don't talk to me. How can you go into politics with that frame of thinking?
Yeah.
So what if you had won?
Anyway, we have Tricky on the line, another Calypsonian. So let's give him a chance, okay?
So you want to give another Calypsonian?
Yeah, that's right.
Preference over me? Don't worry, that is victimization, Mikey.
Yeah, but I'm glad you have the empathy to realize that what happened to the flabbers, that even though the campaign is over for a little while, you can
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, darling.
All right.
Later.
Master Trickster, good afternoon. You'll be our final.
Hey, good afternoon, Shelton.
Garçon parti au vieux Canada, ou pas de moi, bon, on paye nous toujours.
Gaza,
Yeah.
we were on a demolition mission.
What's up, my friend? How you doing? You still in Lucia, or you? Or you gone back?
Good. Back already. I'm back already.
Okay.
I can report back to work.
All right, we don't have much time left, so use the time.
Yeah, so quickly. Yeah, what I really call to say the fact that we must listen to the lyrics of our national anthem. Love the land that gave us birth. Now apparently there are some people in the media who didn't read that or didn't sing that song at school, and they just want to involve all kind of foreign powers to destroy our little piece of rock. And the sad thing is that all the opportunities they've gotten is as a result of St. Lucia. So when, and I can call his name, when Timothy Polion is busy inviting Reed Jock and all them and to question our election process, tell him go back with that. Tell him learn the national anthem. Go back to the national anthem and see what it is it's saying to us. Because once we decide to put our elections into question, it's the beginning of what we call a failed state. We see what's going on around the, you saw what happened on January 6th in America when the election was questioned by a man in authority. We do not want that for St. Lucia. So these people who have all the venomous deeds towards St. Lucia, tell them love St. Lucia first. Because Rejock is going to destroy St. Lucia and leave and never turn back. That's my contribution, my brother.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for that.
I'm just restraining.
Someone sent me a message which I don't understand because there's misspelling it. Shelton, I would not have listened to the real issues had you gone GAD you, GAD you gone THR the way as I have not listened to the other show in many years.
Okay.
It's
All right.
kinda difficult.
I think she's saying that had you gone the way of the person that we describe it. You know, I was just almost tempted to say maybe it's an inability to stand at attention. But Sheldon, as we close, I just want to say that I'm very excited about PJP's second term. As Terry's term puts it, the goodies. I can't wait to see what goodies are in store for us. And the thing is, I keep asking myself, how can he outdo himself this time? And I know that he is capable and he will outdo himself, but it's just the curiosity. It's like Christmas and what's under that tree. And I can say with 200% confidence, I believe that this will be Philip JP's best term yet, and the government and the cabinet of ministers that he appoints. So just to encourage everyone as we look forward to the next Christmas, which December 1st was our first one, just look forward to the goodies that'll be under your tree for the next 5 years.
Okay. Hi, Shelton. Thanks for passing the message to Tricky. Not sure which message that was. He called, but he did not do what he promised. He has someone in a difficult position, and he refuses to even pass and see that person. If you call me, I can tell you about it, and maybe you can call him and speak to him about it. Do not embarrass him by putting it on air. Okay. I don't know who it is because this message came from the on-air WhatsApp message board. So I don't even know who you are that I can contact you. Maybe if Jaquan can retrieve the number, he can give it to me. Real Issues, we have to wrap up now. Powered by Blue Waters and signing.
Daily Grand 4 7 10 21. Big 4 1 3 2 6. Big 4 multi-X 2X. Pick 2 1 9. Pick 2 multi-X 2X. One off 1 1 7. Lucky 3 7 4 8. Lucky 3 multi-X 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's